Hi, I'm Udi, and in this video, I will show you how Komodor's cluster health management capabilities can be extended into the wider Kubernetes ecosystem and provide valuable insights into various add-ons, operators, and CLDs. In a previous video, I explained what cluster health management even means and how Komodor can help connect the dots between the infrastructure layer, the application layer, and the Kubernetes layer. In this video, we'll focus specifically on external DNS and cert-manager and see how Komodor proactively promotes reliability across the system by continuously analyzing the behavior of these add-ons in conjunction with the app and infra layers. As you know, a lot of things can go wrong with both cert-manager and external DNS. Maybe certificates are not being issued or stuck pending due to some misconfiguration or DNS validation issues. Maybe it's a permission issue or the correct rules are missing. As for external DNS, it could be that you're experiencing some conflicting DNS entries or rate limiting by your DNS provider. All of those things can and will happen, but with Komodor, you can be positively sure that you will know about them ahead of time and will be able to prevent or fix them as quickly as possible. So let's see what it looks like. Right now, I'm inside my dedicated workspace, and everything I'm seeing is within the context of my applications. If I scroll past the workload health and the infrastructure health dashboards, I will reach this little section over here, which has all the Kubernetes add-ons deployed on this specific cluster and whether there are any issues with either one of them. Right away, I can see that cert-manager has 4 issues. And clicking on it will take me to the cert-manager tab, where I can see all of my certificates, and the problematic ones will be promoted up top, so I will know that they demand my immediate attention. And I can see here that we have a workload running in production, and its certificate is due to expire in just 4 days, and the current certificate is failing to renew. So if I don't do anything about it, in 4 days, this service will fail. And clicking on it reveals this door, which has a breakdown of the issues, saying exactly what happened. And you have an option to learn more if you wish to. And we have this visualization of the downstream effect of not addressing the certificate issue. So we can see that in 4 days, when cert-manager will fail to issue a new certificate to the PG prod service, not only will that service fail, those 3 dependent services downstream will also fail. So I can be proactive about it and do something ahead of time. As always, we have Claudia, our AI agent, to do the investigation for us behind the scenes. And here again, we can see that Claudia already reached a conclusion. She's coming with the receipts, so we know that we can trust her recommendations. And after the related evidence, Claudia once again provides clear and simple step-by-step instructions for remediations. In this case, Claudia concluded that the relevant DNS record is missing, and that's what's causing cert-manager to fail, and therefore can't issue new certificates to the PG prod service. And now I can follow these instructions and quickly fix it, or share this insight with my admin, so they will do something about it for me. Now let's take a look at the external DNS tab. So similarly to what we saw under the cert-manager tab, I can see here a list of all of my DNS records, their status, and the last time they were synced. Clicking on the top one here reveals a drawer with all of the relevant information. So I can see a quick explanation of what happened and why. So the DNS records are not synced with the DNS providers, and it's due to rate limits. And I have this visual representation of the downstream effect of the external DNS not syncing with these records and the dependent services downstream that will be affected if I don't address this issue right now. Once again, Claudia, our trusted AI agent, did the investigation behind the scenes for us and is already here with the solution, as well as an evidence for why Claudia thinks this is the root cause. And as always, we have simple step-by-step instructions on how to remediate this issue. In this case, we need to increase the DNS providers, meaning Route 53 API usage and rate limit policies, And we have a few recommendations here on how to do just that. These were just two simple examples of things that can go wrong with cert-manager and external DNS and how you can use Komodor to resolve them. Obviously, in real life, issues are more complicated and are often interlinked, especially in large-scale Kubernetes environments. So imagine a slightly more complicated scenario where a developer receives an alert that the checkout service is down. And then they inspect the deployment and realize that all the pods are failing. And the next logical step would be to inspect the logs, after which they will find out that there's a database they are failing to connect to. But inspecting the database's pods shows that everything is up and running. And inspecting the DB logs also reveals no issues. But looking at the DB connections shows that they drop to 0. And then, only then, after maybe 2 hours or more of downtime and stress, the developer will escalate to the ops team, which will have to run through this entire process once again, and then dive a bit deeper, maybe inspect the network policies and inspect the certificate. And only then realize that the certificate expired, and then realize that cert-manager is failing to renew the certificate because there's an issuer problem. And only after looking at the issuer, they would realize that it's all DNS after all, and then fix the DNS problem. All of this together boils down to hours of downtime and stressful troubleshooting sessions that involve multiple team members. This entire scenario that I just described, you can now imagine how simple that would be to detect proactively ahead of time before the checkout service is down and prevent them. And that can be done by a single engineer and not a whole team scrambling to figure out what went wrong.